Remember, all I'm offering is the truth.
Now there was a woman named Alice Bailey who founded the Lucis Trust, which is the publishing house which prints and disseminates United Nations material. This connection shows the New Age and pagan nature of the UN and the New World Order. Lucis Trust was established in 1922 as Lucifer Trust by Alice Bailey, which disseminates the books of Bailey and Helena Blavatsky. Bailey changed the name to Lucis Trust because Lucifer Trust revealed the true nature of the New Age movement too clearly. Lucis Trust is sponsored by, among others, Robert McNamara, former Minister of Defense in the USA, President of the World Bank, and member of the Rockefeller Foundation, and Thomas Watson of IBM, former ambassador to Moscow. Lucis Trust's sponsors, among others, are the following organizations: the UN, Greenpeace International, Greenpeace USA, Amnesty International, and the UNICEF.
Presents Inner Sight with your host, Robert Anderson. He, with Sarah and Dale McKechnie, President and Vice President of Lucis Trust, will discuss philosophical and spiritual topics essential to everyday life. Now here's your host, Robert Anderson.
Inner Sight. Our topic for today, preparing for the coming age. Before we explore this topic, I'd like to say a few words about Alice Bailey. From the works of Alice Bailey: the new era is coming. The new ideals, the new civilization, new modes of life, education, religious practices, and government are slowly precipitating, and nothing can stop them. What exactly makes the New Age new?
That's a good question. We hear the term so often, New Age, without probably most of us really knowing what is meant by that. Maybe we should begin by saying what the Old Age was. We're still living in the remnants of the Old Age, I believe, and I think most people familiar with the ageless wisdom would agree. This is said to be the last 2,000, perhaps 2,500 year period governed by, if you're astrologically inclined, Pisces.
In an era of globalization, of political interdependence, where the world is ever more swiftly opening up, and the cliché about a global community becomes an economic, political, often social reality. In this new world, how religious faith develops will have a profound impact. The forces shaping this world at this moment are so strong, and they all tend in one direction. They are opening the world up.
The task of our generation, whether we are religious people or secular people, is to build a global community where people of all persuasions can live together in peace and harmony.
If you have a vision of a better world, if you have a vision of how you might contribute to that world, if you have a vision of how people around the world might work together to help create that better world, this is a place for you.
URI has made a start. Now, we need your help. Help us strengthen our infrastructure. We want to establish offices in 8 regions of the world and build a vibrant communications network to support peace builders everywhere. We want to double our presence and impact.
Three great world religions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, all place sovereignty in only one location, namely in God. We all are aware of the excesses of religion in regard to your topic. Do you think that world religions have some positive role in the coming of what you call a global nation?
Absolutely, yes. Religion has played a very ambiguous role in the Great Experiment. On the one hand, it is the great unifier. But I hope I'm right about this, and my sense is that there is, in this country, in the American religious community, a new constructive and ecumenical spirit of helping out on highly secular issues, including that of climate change. And I certainly have the sense that there is a lot similar going on at a global level. Unfortunately, it hasn't been translated into political action and community relations anywhere near as much as we want.
With Jesus Drive, environmental evangelism, it is the new way to raise awareness about global warming. Our Fox Religion correspondent Lauren Green joins us with more on that. Now, good morning. Who's pushing green, Lauren?
Hey, well, a lot of people, it really is across the board, theoretically speaking, or religiously speaking. Here are the top green religious people, according to Live Earth. We've got Reverend Joel Hunter. He's the senior pastor at Northland Church in Longwood, Florida. He actually was offered the head of the Christian Coalition, but turned it down because he wanted to focus on issues like poverty and environmental protection. We've got Norman Hobble. He's a theology professor out of Australia. He edited something called the Earth Bible. Then, of course, there's Pope Benedict XVI, and yesterday he issued a statement that said the people of faith must listen to the voice of the earth or risk destroying its very existence. We also have the Archbishop of Canterbury, Rowan Williams, head of the Anglican Church, and, of course, the Buddhist leader, Dalai Lama. But one thing you should add to this list is the National Evangelical Association, because 2 years ago it issued a letter to 50,000 members of its churches, which means it's 30 million evangelicals, saying that we affirm that God-given dominion is a sacred responsibility and that government has an obligation to protect its citizens from the effects of environmental degradation. So it is a big movement all across the board.
Is it part of a political agenda for the religious crowd in this country?
Well, for the religious crowd, yes, but more importantly, the Democrats, who are trying to sway a lot of evangelical voters at this point, can use the environmental issue.
There are diverse ways of being in the world, that there are millions of ways to be a human being, and many ways, but many paths to what you call God. And her path might be something else, and when she gets there, she might call it the light.
There are certainly many more paths to God other than Christianity. What I believe is that Jesus came to show us Christ consciousness.
Besides, there couldn't possibly be just one way. What about Jesus? What about Jesus?
A new study says the news media have been pushing a gospel of godlessness on the American public. The Media Research Center's Culture and Media Institute looked at broadcast news, the 3 leading news magazines, and National Public Radio. They found that 80% of feature stories about atheism and atheists had a positive tone. None of the feature stories were negative. And most Christian-themed stories included atheist counterpoints or were written from an atheist perspective.
The Golden Compass is an adventure film about a young girl who embarks on an epic quest through worlds of talking bears and witches. But some say it's anti-Christian.
A lot of controversy has surrounded the release of the Nicole Kidman film, The Golden Compass. The movie is based on one of the trilogy of books written by Philip Pullman, an avowed atheist, and some parents and church groups argue the book is an attack on religion.
The author's very open about how it does attack religion. I mean, the goal of the main character, Lyra, is to kill God.
The story tracks a little girl that sets out on an adventurous quest that lands her in conflict with a sinister group called the Magisterium. The Magisterium in the movie is an oppressive group of people who dress in church-like robes and make pronouncements about the way people should behave. Some have inferred that the Magisterium is the teaching authority of the church.
Magisterium is actually the real term for the Pope and his council of bishops.
The battle lines are drawn. Choices will have to be made. I have made my choice. What is yours? What is yours? What is yours?